You don't gotta do something every day, but you might as well get fly anyway. Get ready with me.
Oh,
So we're back with the R-Wang beef. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and fill y'all in. So R-Wang is beefing with Nick, who was beefing with Zig, which turned into this entire LA fashion beef. The first thing I don't get is why are we starting 2026 the exact same way we started 2025? I think this whole beef stuff is so lame at this point, and that's coming from a guy who's talked about it every single time it's happened. This stuff is lame. Even Dav came out and said something about it, and I agree with just about everything he was saying. He was talking about how it's basically small business against small business against small business, etc. None of this accomplishes anything. All of y'all boys are gonna look back and just wish y'all helped each other up, instead of trying to tear each other. Y'all already don't touch 1% of any of these huge brands. Everybody beefing over prices and profit margin, when in reality, clothing brand B could help clothing brand A get to where clothing brand B is at. But there's too much beef for any of that to happen. And he also talked about if you're the one engaging with all this and pushing all of it as if it's cool, you're lame. And I also completely agree. But I will give a lot of you guys the benefit of the doubt because y'all are probably too young to realize how lame that is. It's just like back in 6th grade when everybody had a fake box logo tee and they all thought it was super cool. Even the people around them thought it was super cool. But once you get a little bit older and you look back, that's when you realize how lame it actually was because you've matured a little bit. Oh my goodness. Also, talking about another man's girl is fighting words. It always has been and it always will be. That is territory you do not touch. That girl ain't got nothing to do with any of this, and it should stay that way. That's not me excusing any of her actions, but it just shouldn't be brought into the mix. I'm not gonna be the one to tell you guys what happened with that girl just because it's not my news to spread, but R-Wang already talked about it, so if you want to go see that, go search up R-Wang. But with all that being said, I think this entire situation is extremely dragged out and it needs to stop being brought up every 3 months. Y'all are never gonna get over anything if that keeps happening, and that's if y'all want to separate or become friends again. You guys also need to learn respect and grow up a little bit because like I said earlier, that girl stuff is crazy. It's one thing for R-Wang to go to Nick personally and tell him everything that's happened and even be rude about it. That's y'all too. But to bring it on the internet and share it to millions of people, that's a whole nother story. And finally, as small business owners, we might make good money to us, but our money ain't touching the money that these actual huge corporations are making. So in the long run, all this itty bitty beef in the same town is so dumb. Grow up, move past it. Relationships end, no matter how tight the bond is. That's something that you learn as you grow up and as time goes on. So when something like that happens, you just got to try your best to be on good terms and make amends so that you guys can both move on in your own individual lives. I wish everybody success. Nick, R-Wang, Zig, Elijah and Chloe, whoever else is involved in this. I hope all of y'all grow and flourish and do whatever. But leave each other alone if you don't like each other and bond even closer if you do. That's my opinion. I'll see y'all.